Hi y'all, welcome again to my video. Thanks for stopping by to my YouTube channel. I want to start off by thanking everybody for their likes, shares, and subscribes. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys took time out to look at my video. I really appreciate that. Today I wanted to bring up a topic about the dark night of the soul and opening up your chakras. And some people that I spoke to, they feel like that's foolishness, that's silly, that's jibber jabber, it's demonic. A lot of people are so closed off in today's day and age, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are awakening up and they're seeing, they're researching more. They are trying to figure out who they are. And a lot of times you have to step out of what you always knew, what you've always known, and trust yourself to go on a journey of finding yourself using different techniques, different ways, different research, different having people help you with different knowledge, different techniques to heal, different everything. I know with myself I was a person that was raised very religious. Hold on one second. This is bothering me, my microwave. But I was a person that was raised very religious. But I also was raised spiritual as well. And somewhere down the line, I kind of stepped away from my spiritual side because it is something that is, not accepted, or people try to demonize it. You are considered weird when you step out the norm and you believe in different things. You try out new things. You can see what other people can't see. You can hear what other people can't hear. People will call you crazy. And so with myself, I know I started stepping away, and I wanted a foundation for my children, so I raised them in the church. My youngest, not so much. But my kids was just like, Mama, it's got to be more to it. We cool, we believe in God, but we ain't with all the rest of that stuff. So religion is something that got me here. I'm grateful for my religious upbringing. I'm grateful that even though I had a very hard childhood and I was exposed to a lot of abuse very early on, as early as 3 years old, I always knew there was a God. Even remembering when I got, remembered when I first got molested. Well, not even the first time I got molested, but the first time I remembered getting molested. I talked to God, and right after it happened, I said, God, why did this happen to me? So I am very grateful for the people that brought me up in this world, introducing me to God. But needless to say, going to church, joining groups in church, volunteering in church, hearing the pastor every Sunday, taking notes, going to Bible study, calling in on the call-in line to hear a message from God. All of that was not growing me. I still felt very stagnant. I felt like there was more to learn about God. And so even if you're a person that is religious, I recommend you doing research for yourself, going within to meditate, because even the Bible says meditate on the word. Meditate and go within so that you can because God will give you answers that you need for your life. We don't necessarily have to go to a pastor or some sort to hear messages from God. We are all connected. Well, I would say all of us, but we got some robots, demons, and all kind of stuff walking around this day and age. But for those of us that love the Most High, we are connected to the Most High. God will give you messages that are just for you. God will answer your prayers. Um, it's up to you to do some research. It's up to you to actually sit and be quiet with yourself and figure out what you would like to know, what you would like to see for your future. Write it out, you know, make a plan for yourself, and then God still might have another plan for your life, but at least you got started. At least you're telling the universe, you're telling God what you would like going forward. So that's my little spiel on that. Basically, once I started doing some research on spirituality, I it is a beautiful thing. Now, everything has a negative and a positive. People use spirituality and they try to take advantage of people. People use spirituality and they try to demonize it because they don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to look outside of reading that Bible. They don't want you to look outside of just the things that you may have been brought up on, things that you feel like you know for a fact. They don't want you to question things, you know. And a lot of things that's dealing with spirituality is going within yourself. So sometimes, you know, religion, sometimes ideology, sometimes things that we have been programmed to basically operate in, the programs that we've been operating in has kept us stuck, has kept us to a certain point where we feel like we're not elevating, we're not growing, we're not healing. There's so many times I went to church and I was crying, tears. God, please help me, please, this is that. And it's just like, of course, God helped me because God comforted me in the morning. Joy comes in the morning. You might cry at night, but joy will come in the morning. But the thing about it is I still wasn't being healed. Why? Because I was stagnating myself. I wasn't open to learning new and different things. So that's a little spill about me. Also, once I turned a certain age, I asked God, one of my 5-year plans was I wanted to be closer to God. And being closer to God is I wanted to see kind of what Jesus experienced. Because in my mind and in my heart, when you say Jesus in Spanish is Jesus, right? Break that down. He's us. Jesus. He's us. So a lot of us is walking around and we are a part of Christ's bloodline. You know, we're the part that they never talk about. You know, they always say, you know, they never tell you the story about who's related to, you know, Christ in the Bible. And a lot of the times it's us people that they call the chosen, or they call the people that are called the part of the 144. A lot of us are people that are direct ancestors from Christ, if you believe in that. I am a person that is Christ conscious. I do believe that there was a spirit. Christ was on this earth at one point in time. There's a spirit that is in us. And I feel like when you are Christ conscious, that also means to be more aware of yourself. Because at the end of the day, we have to save ourselves. I don't really believe that there's going to be a superhero that's going to come and save you. God gave you the power to save yourself, but it's about opening up. It's about researching. It's about looking inside of yourself. It's about praying. It's about meditating. It's about so many things. Grounding yourself. It's about so many things that come together that will protect you, that will save you, that will help you heal yourself. There's so many times I felt stuck. It's so many times where I felt like I'm doing all the right things. I'm living the way you want. I'm reading this word day and night. I'm praying. I'm worshiping. I'm giving. All this, and I still was feeling stagnant. So I really feel in my heart that God directed me to go ahead and open up, find out more. And sometimes you will not be ready to open up. Everybody has a certain time when they feel like they're opening up and they're ready to find out more. Everybody's clock is different. Just because somebody else had a spiritual awakening, it might not be time for you to have your awakening. I didn't even know what a spiritual awakening was, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real. People was coming to me saying, "When did you have your spiritual awakening?" And I'm thinking, what? Spiritual awakening? And at that point, when I think about what a spiritual awakening is, I've had a million of those. Even as a child, I remember going through stuff that was so painful, so hard, so traumatic. And I felt alone in this physical realm, but I always could talk to God. I always could go within and have my own personal conversations, which God helped me through those situations. But as I got older, I feel like you are supposed to be growing. So I started researching different things, and I'm not gonna lie. Being in that dark night of the soul actually is what put me on the path of actually finding out who I truly am, what is going on in my life, because it was things that I couldn't explain. When I say Christ consciousness, when you do embrace that Christ consciousness, when you feel like, you are related to Christ, you're going to be crucified. You're going to be shunned. You're going to be talked about because you're going around spreading the word. You're going to be, ridiculed, isolated. People will hate you. People will try to kill you. And a lot of the times, 80% of them is in your own family. Because if they don't understand your walk, if they don't understand your relationship with the Most High, they would rather kill you off because you sound crazy. Or a lot of them, let's be clear, they chose their path. A lot of them have made contracts, whether when they was younger or older, that they contracted with dark entities to have some of the success that they have on this earth, to actually be able to go to and fro. But best believe these people that decided to contract with the dark entities, those dark entities had to get permission from the Most High. Let's be clear. So I do believe we living in a world now where there's a lot of dark stuff going on. There's a lot of where they're trying to persuade a lot of people to believe in Satan. And it's like, why y'all pushing Satan so much? If you guys believe in Satan, then there gotta be a God. That tells me there gotta be a God. Y'all pushing Satan so hard, so tough, that y'all ain't doing nothing but proving that there is a God. There is the Most High God. So I don't went into a little spiel, but again, about opening up the chakras. I went through the dark night of the soul, like I said, where I was being nailed to a cross, where my family turned their backs on me, where memories started flooding back, where my own father done tried to kill me twice in faulty cars. Memories came back where, my mom has made sure that verbally she was killing me every age of my life up until the time I was 18. And it was meant to take me out. So I don't know if you guys have experienced that, where you might have grew up real hard, where you always kept a smile on your face. I always kept a smile on my face. I didn't want people to even know how messed up my childhood was. I wanted everybody to feel happy and good when they were around me. I didn't want to be walking around as a walking victim. So I would keep my mouth closed and not tell people what I was experiencing at home, how tragic it was, how challenging it was. Again, like I said, some people have made contracts with dark entities that you know nothing about. So whether you're spiritual, religious, or whatever, especially if you're religious, you should know that there is dark entities. And a lot of the times people get confused on what these dark entities are is because they buy you something, or because they always got a smiling face, or because they always quick to help, or because they always willing to listen and give a listening ear. These be the same people that is dark entities. The people that will try to work against you because they know all your weaknesses. They know your secrets. They your family, so you automatically think mama love me, daddy love me. When the whole time these people already made a deal with something that you don't know nothing about. So it's going through the dark night of the soul showed me a lot of stuff. It showed me so much stuff that overwhelmed me. I didn't even think if God would have told me I was going through that, I wouldn't have believed it. I don't even know if I would have wanted to. So I know people have that saying, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. I'm telling you, I don't believe I was ready for it, but God knew I was, because again, I was a person that went through hardships since I was 3 years old. My childhood was rough. I went through a lot of abuse, mentally, physically, sexually, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And I remember turning 18 and I was like, whew, thank you. I made it through. That's how rough it was. I was like, I made it. I finally am an adult now. I don't even know how I went through that. So, and God ain't going to put more on you than you can bear. So, some of the strongest people have the toughest battles. And that's because you're strong and you can go through it. God knows what you're what you can deal with and what you can't. Getting back to these opening up the chakras. During this dark night of the soul, I was going through different things. I didn't even realize that each time I was going to different situations, different tests, experiencing the truths about people that I had been around, it was actually opening up my chakras. So the first chakra I want to talk about is your root chakra. And root is related to the earth. And that is your fear. So usually around 8 to 14 years old, you may have experienced a lot of trauma where it left you, where you felt like you were always unsafe. If you experienced it that young, you always went around feeling like you was unsafe. You always was in survival mode. That is how you was operating because you experienced trauma that young. And I know myself, I did. So a lot of my fears was I didn't know who my family. I knew in the back of my head, like I said, once I turned about 18, I was like, man, because there was some things that happened to me that I went through and my family turned on me. So I was like, man, are these people, please don't say they fake God. Please don't say that they ain't real. Please don't tell me that what I hear and what I feel about my own people, I was calling friends. Please don't tell me that these people ain't who I think they are. And lo and behold, experiencing the dark night of the soul, it showed me who everybody was. I had to face my fears. I was going around reaching out, telling people I'm hurting. I need help. And usually when you need help, when you go through a marriage, when you experience some deaths in your family, that's when the real people come out. That's when different hardships show you who people really are. And that's what I was experiencing. Is I was going through things that I couldn't explain. I was going around telling people like I'm hurting and I don't know why. I don't know why everybody's turning on me. I don't know what's going on. Some people knew what was going on and they didn't even say nothing. So again, I confronted my fears. So you guys have to confront your fears if you would like to open up that root chakra. You have to let that go. You got to confront. You can't keep running your whole life. You got to, face your fear of even me being a not so good with my mothering skills because I went into a depression. And so I had to face that like, look, you went into a depression. You was slipping. You was slipping on your pimping. You feel me? Because you went into a depression where you was barely able to take care of yourself, let alone give the children at that time what they needed. So I had to face my fears. That was another fear of mine, is being a not so good mom. And there was a point in time where I felt like I was off. You know, I was depressed, and depression is it's an energy. It's a demon, and shoot, that depression energy got you. That demon got you. You ain't even caring about yourself, let alone being able to take care of the needs of your children. So I had to face that with myself. Guilt. Let go of that guilt and that blame. I had to forgive myself. It was bringing back things that I did even as a child. It was bringing back things that I had experienced. It was bringing back things that I felt like I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I had to let go of that guilt. I had to forgive myself, which is the solar plexus chakra. That's dealing with sex, even with being molested a million times. I would always blame myself, even though I know it wasn't my fault. I still blame myself because I didn't fight more. Maybe I could have fought harder. Maybe I could have did this differently. Maybe instead of telling my mother, and she knew every time that I was getting molested because I got molested a million times, maybe I should have told another adult. Then I told another adult. That wasn't good enough. Maybe I told the school. Maybe I should have told somebody. So I just kept on trying to hold on to that guilt of, I just I kind of didn't, maybe I should have fought harder for myself. So that's dealing with your sacral chakra. Even with people that you've done engaged in sex with, you have to forgive yourself. You might not have chose good partners. I know I didn't. I know I didn't choose good partners, and I was my chakra, that sacral chakra, was closed, and that's right below your belly button. And so you have to release that so that you can open up that chakra. You have to release that guilt. Release that blaming yourself. You blaming yourself for things that you had no control over. You're blaming yourself for things that, happened to you so long ago. We have to release that so we can move forward. The next chakra is that fire chakra, your willpower. And so that's your solar plexus chakra. And that is something that can be blocked because you have to release the letdowns and disappointments in your life. You might have had high aspirations to do certain things. You might have, whatever it is in your life where you feel like my life is going to go this way and it ended up going this way. I'm going to be married and I'm going to raise my kid, and you ended up being a single mom, or you ended up being a single dad, or you got multiple baby mamas, whatever your thing is, whatever you feel like is a letdown and a disappointment. You've let others down. You've let yourself down. You have to release that. You have to release that because you're not even going to be able to create anything. You're not going to be able to be a boss. You're not going to be able to just use your creativity because you are still feeling guilty and shame for things that, you may have had control over. You may have made mistakes. And things that may have been out of your control again. So we have to release that so that we can move forward and we can open that so that we can be open to being creative and we can actually tap into our boss power. Because I think that's your boss power. You being a straight up boss. You feel me? The next chakra is your heart chakra. And that is grief. So a lot of the times, I know people that have experienced deaths in their family and they're not able to move forward from them. They are still holding on to, well, Big Mama died 10 years ago, 20 years ago, such and such died. They're not able to really heal their heart. They can't move forward. These people are gone. Some people wish that they could have said their last words to this person, or I wish I would have told this person this before they died, or they still have things that they feel like they could have, should have, would have done before they lost these people, or they might have lost them for during tragedy. They might have been taken out of here in tragic ways, murders, things like that, and they're unable to move forward. Your heart chakra will always be blocked if you're not able to release that. We know that these energies never die. We learned this in chemistry. We learned this in science. So these energies are still here. They're still present. They're in a different form, but they're still present. They'll always be with you. The people that you love will always be with you. So we have to somehow learn how to release that. Even people that can't get over heartbreaks. They might have been in relationships that let them down. Somebody broke their heart. They might have had family relationships. I know that when I was going through the dark night of the soul, when my own people was turning against me, that broke my heart. I promise. That broke my heart, because these is people that I would have never turned on. I would have never intentionally tried to break their heart, and they broke my heart, and some of the times they did it without knowing, and some of the times they did it on purpose. And so I would have never been able to open up my heart if I didn't release that. You have to release that grief. You lost that job. You might have had, your favorite car, your favorite anything, and you were unable to get over that. We have to unblock our hearts and get over and release that into the hands of love. You can even practice some meditations that will help you learn to release that, so that you can release it into the universe, and you'll be able to unblock your heart chakra. The next one is your throat chakra. And this is truth. This is all about truth. So release denial. There's things that you might have been done, that you did, that you're ashamed of, or that you don't want to admit, and you're in straight denial about it. And when you're in denial, it can't be in truth. The both of them they can't exist. They can't coincide. If you're in denial, you're not in your truth. So we have to first be honest with ourselves. What are the lies that you've been telling yourself all these years? What are the lies that's keeping you to where you're not able to speak up? It might have even been something toxic that somebody told you about how you speak, or you sound too ghetto, or you don't have proper English. You might have kept harboring over there over and over again, and you're unable to speak. There's a lot of y'all that want to be a motivational speaker, that want to have a YouTube channel, that want to work with people, that want to talk to people in mass numbers. You're not going to be able to speak your truth if you don't release that. So you have to release the lies that have been told to you, the lies that you've told yourself, so that you can be in truth and you're able to speak. I know there was one point in time during this dark night of the soul where my throat was hoarse. It was blocked. I couldn't talk. There was people asking me stuff, and it was just like, what was that movie called? Us. Or was it Us? I can't remember. Where the lady was just smiling and the tear was coming down her eye, and she knew that she was being trapped and enslaved, but she couldn't say nothing. I was at that point where I was just looking at everybody, and I wanted to speak up for myself, or I had an opinion about something, or I wanted to speak my truth, and I couldn't because I was in denial. So you have to release that so that you can speak your truth and you can unblock that throat chakra. And now we go up to the third eye chakra. And this is where you release separation. Separation is an illusion. We all are interconnected, whether we like it or not. Even my family members, they all taught me something about them, and I don't take them for granted. And I also, I forgive them, but it's not something where I feel like I resent them or anything like that, or I feel like, darn, I should have had a new family. No. Actually, even when people hurt you, they teach you something. Even when people have things that are not so good about them, that'll teach you something about yourself. Even when you experience hurt, drama, pain, betrayal from close friends, lovers, loved ones, that all teaches you something about yourself. How would you, how did you handle these situations? Was you able to forgive? What part did you play in it? It all teaches you something. We are all interconnected. And I know with myself, you might not believe in astrology. I do. And the different people in my life, the Leos, they taught me about strength. They taught me they tested my strength a million times. I was raised by a whole bunch of Leos. They taught me a lot about strength. So I feel like they was sharpening me up, getting me ready. So it's a lot of different ones, different signs where I can go. Even I've dealt with, Capricorn energies where, they'll teach you about, if you have that low version of a Capricorn, if you got that low energy or if you got that high energy, are you addicted to different things? Are you controlling? It taught me a lot. So everyone that I interacted with taught me a lot about myself. And I believe that if you're a divine feminine, if you're a divine masculine, you should have all the astrology in your chart. You're everything. You're a Leo, you're a Virgo, you're a Capricorn, you're a Taurus, you etc. You're all of them. You just have to find out what your placements are in your chart. Everybody's chart is different, so you can't just be like, you a Capricorn and you this and that. And it's like some of it might be true, but a lot of it is about how your upbringing. A lot of it is when you were born, the time you was born. So everybody can't say everybody's all the same. And everybody has differences, but we are still all connected. So you have to release that. Separation is an illusion. We are all connected. We are all a part of this tree of life. And each one of us is a branch. What I say, we all a part of this puzzle. We just different pieces to the puzzle. And then the last one is your crown. Even though there's more chakras than this is the 7 basic ones. The last one is your crown, the top of your head. And you have to release the attachments to this world. So even with me, I've had to start all over. And that's where you feel comfortable. You in your crib. You got this and that. Your job is this and that. Man, you have to be ready to lose it all. And I was at the point where I said, F everything. Take it away from me as long as I get closer to who I truly am. You have to get to that point where you're not stuck somewhere, where you're not feeling like this is attached to, or I'm attached to my kids. You got to be ready to say, hey, if I have to release them, it's time for me to release them. If I have to release where I live, let me go ahead and let it go. If I have to give everything up and start all over, because if you're not able to release these things, you're going to be stuck here. You're not going to be able to elevate. You can't go higher if you're stuck here by the things in life, by some people, even people that you love. I had to release people that I love, because if not, I would have harbored resentment. I would have harbored hatred for them for how they did me when I was going through my dark night of the soul. I had to be able to release that so that I could still love them, but love them from afar. You got to be able to walk away from it all. So again, I want to thank everybody for taking time out to listen to my videos. I advise everybody to do your own research regarding opening up your chakras. I truly believe that opening up the chakras is related to the dark night of the soul. So if you've experienced in the dark night of the soul, you don't know where to go, you feel lost, you feel drained, you feel like everybody's against you, you feel like you don't got nobody, do some research, because you could be going through these things and you can actually see where you are in the process of the dark night of the soul. And it will help you to move forward. It will help you to know that the grass will be greener on the other side. There is sunshine after the rain, so it will help you. It will kind of give you an idea of what you're going through and why you're going through it. And like I said, there's no time limit on this dark night of the soul. There's no time limit even on the chakras. You might be stagnant. Things might come in your way where it's supposed to come in your way to kind of throw you off your path of opening up your chakras. It might be people that come throw you, some wrenches in your plans. It might be you not being able to release some things, not being able to confront your fears, not being attached to different people, different things, different situations, different habits that will stagnate your process of opening up your chakras so that you can actually have your awakening and get through the dark night of the soul. So it's up to you. There's no time limit on it. I'm gonna be clear. My dark night of the soul was about 3 years. And that, when I tell y'all that's the roughest 3 years, I grayed all in the front. My hair is straight gray. It was the roughest period of my life, but I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful that I made it through. I'm grateful that I learned more about myself. I'm grateful that I learned truths about some people that I was dealing with. I'm grateful that I no longer have the addictions that I had. So I am a living testimony, and that's why I'm here. I'm a living testimony to let you guys know that you can make it. You will make it if you just continue to move forward. It might be rough. Baby, when I tell you, it might be rough, but you can get through it, because ultimately God is doing this to help you elevate, to help you grow. And God will not put more on you than you can bear. So you definitely can go through it. You definitely can grow through it. So keep your head up. Again, this is how you open up your chakras and get through the dark night of the soul. Okay? So I want to thank everybody again for, coming by my channel. And I want everybody to have an amazing day. Bye.